Hello, thank you for joining us again on the program The Woman in You. I've got pride, I've got potentials, I have class, and I am special. Joy Uche is my name, and I'm glad to be here again on this program. And I thank you so much for joining us. Today, on The Woman in You, we have a woman who is one in a million. She is a one in a million woman. She's a Christian, a lover of women and the girl child. She is a legal practitioner. She is a politician. She is also a woman you like to want to meet any day, anytime. She was one time SSA on Child Rights Advocacy to His Excellency, the Governor of Delta State, Senator Ifeanyi Afo Okowa. She equally served as the Executive Assistant to the Governor, assigned to the Girl Child Empowerment Office. She was Honorable Commissioner for Humanitarian and Community Support Services, Delta State, before resigning to go run for the office of the representative of Oshimle South in the Delta State House of Assembly come 2023. Ladies and gentlemen, join me. Make welcome Barrister Bridget Ifechukuku Anyafolo. Thank you, ma'am, for joining us today.
Thank you.
I'm glad
Thank
to have
you.
And I want to say, I've been seeing a lot of your works rather. So I want to say thank you for doing what you have been doing.
Thank you so much.
All right, we just know you as Barrister Bridget Anyafolo. That's what we know. Today I've come to know that you have Ifechukuku as your middle name as well. That's a good one because I know the meaning. Now let's get to meet you properly. Who is really Barrister Bridget Ifechukuku Anyafolo?
Yes, my name is Ifechukuku Bridget Anyafolo. Bridget was given to me on the third day after I was born. As my parents were Catholic. My parents were Catholic. My dad has passed on, but my mom is still around. So I was told that when I was born, I came very sick, and so they were not sure I was going to survive. So as soon as that happened, they called on the Reverend Father in St. Paul's in Iseluku. I was born in St. Teresa's Hospital, and then they met with the priest, the parish priest, who quickly came and baptized me and named me Bridget. And before my father now gave me Fechukuku. You know, when any child is born, it is our custom that after a period of some days, that child will be named. There will be a naming ceremony. So on the day of the naming ceremony, my father named me Ifechukuku because I'm his first child. So, and I love that name because it was given to me by my father. And then my mother's family named me Ogechukuka. But in my family, anytime a girl child is born to the family, you have a name that is reserved already for you. So any female child born into my family is Adoba. Any male child is Oba. That is our tradition, where I come from. I'm from Mudaike in Asaba. So any male child in Mudaike is Oba. The female child, Adoba. So these are my names, and but the one, Ifechuku, was given to me by my dad. I grew up with my parents. My father was a teacher, and my mother was a social worker in the health sector, and I'm the first in the family of 5. Others are boys. And then my father also had an older sister who is 93 years now. I'm the next. I'm the second female in my family, next to the one that is 93. Every other one is a male child. We are all adults now. I went to school under my father as a headmaster, and then at some point I went to secondary school. My father brought me to Asaba to attend Asaba Girls Grammar School. Yes. After that, I attended the University of Lagos and then the University of Benin for further studies. So yeah, I am.
Okay. All right. I was just going to ask as you were going on to say, yeah, before getting into the University of Lagos and all of that, just doing your higher institutions right
Yes.
now. How was life growing up? You know,
Well,
we want to look at the Bridget of yesteryears as a small girl. How was life growing up? Was it rosy all through?
there's something I don't discuss it with people, but well, I'm an adult, and it's one thing God has done that it is important. I give God the glory.
Glory.
I was told that as a child, I did not speak at the time my mates were growing up. Children growing up, we start talking. Child will start talking like 2 plus and 3. But I didn't talk till I was 5.
Wow.
Yes, I didn't talk till I was 5. So the day
So how
I
are you? I'm
managed-
sorry to cut in. How are you interacting with your parents? Like, at 2, 3, you gotta you say some things. We don't understand completely, but we know, yes, the child is saying something.
I didn't
do
talk.
all of that.
I didn't even stop breastfeeding till I was 5 too, because I'm only daughter, and then a child that doesn't talk. The child grew up to have a younger brother, another younger brother. My parents were just pampering me since I wasn't talking and all that. So because of that, I was still breastfeeding even after my immediate younger brother. Then when I now had my other brother, I was still breastfeeding. In fact, 2 of them stopped breastfeeding before me, until the day that my cousin, they beat me up when they ask me for anything and I don't give them. They will say to me that I will not go to Asaba, because at that time we're not living in Asaba. So they will say to me, there is a letter, Bridget will not go to Asaba. It's only I will hear. My mom said that I hear everything they say, but I will not talk. So that day, something happened and I was crying. My mom now asked me, what happened to you? Who is beating you? And I say, it's all your share. That is all not share.
That's the first time you spoke.
On not chair, yes. And I said on not chair, and I was 5. So they said the whole school that day turned upside down. My mom ran to the school because teachers live in the school compound. My mom ran and said, "Oh, my child." He ran to my dad and said, "Oh, that Ifechukwuku is talking." That everybody now came and asked me, "Who is beating you?" And then I would say, "Oh, no, chair." So from that day, I started talking. And my dad now said that when I now started talking, only that week I had even spoken the ones I didn't speak in the last 5 years. So he now started calling me Onumpo.
How was that supposed to be?
Onumpo, that is, now this empty, the can make noise a lot. So that said, so anytime he would just say Onumpo, because I was now talking all the ones that I didn't talk before.
For the 5
I
years.
started talking in the last 5 years. So that was how I started talking. But I was going to school.
Okay.
And anytime I got to school, anytime I was going to school, they would put breast milk for me.
Seriously?
So when it is finished, then I'll finish for the day. As soon as I get to school, I'll finish the breast milk and I will start crying again. Then I'm back to the house. So that was all that happened as I was told as a child.
Yeah.
So, but when I entered, at the time, I now started talking and I was in school and all that. Towards the end of my primary school, I was an athlete.
Okay.
So I run for my primary school. Then when I entered secondary school, I was also the best athlete in my time. and then we'll leave Asaba Girls Grammar School to represent Bendel State and all that. So I was one of the fastest female athletes in Bendel State. So something happened when St. Patrick's had their silver jubilee. That day, we went to do our normal relay. Many schools were invited, and then at some point found out that AGGS was the last. And because I was already representing state at that level. So St. Patrick's guys, they were saying that Bridget will come first, even if all these people like let them get to the batting first before her and all that. So what I did was to run over 70 meters to go and collect the batting, and then had to get to the finishing line first. So the whole place now turned upside down in St. Patrick's that day. So one of the things I remember in my secondary school days. And my dad was very happy. He ran into the just to shout, and then shouting was my child, and my child, because all along he wanted to watch me to see how fast I am. And they said, oh, she has finished too. Bridget is not here, she's at the finishing line and all that. Wow. All these things that happened.
Oh my goodness, that's nice. That's beautiful. So at what point did you now stop doing sports?
Well, in the university.
Why did you stop? Huh?
I paid my dues as far as sports is concerned.
You didn't want to continue?
Yes, I paid my dues.
Yeah, okay.
I paid my dues. I was the fastest female athlete.
Okay, you were actually representing Delta State.
It was then
Bendel State.
Even as a university student, I was representing my school.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful.
I've paid my dues in sports.
You actually won some laurels.
Oh, many, many.
Okay, that's nice.
Many.
Okay, so what were your dreams then? Even at 5 years, you were yet to start talking before you started talking actually at 5 years. You should have some dreams then. The little children, they all have. As you, I want to be this. I want to be this when I grow up. What were your dreams as a young girl growing up?
When I entered secondary school, actually, I wanted to be a medical doctor.
Okay, as a secondary school, you already knew you wanted to be a doctor.
Yes, what I wanted was to be a medical doctor. So I went into the class, science class. Okay. After my, then when you finish your class 2, then 3, then it was 5 years in school. You will now go into the science class.
Now, as you choose, if it's arts.
Yeah, whether you will do physics, chemistry, biology, and all that, mathematics. But unfortunately, I wasn't able to pass maths.
Okay.
Yes, actually never passed maths. I passed maths as an adult.
Okay.
And my father would teach mathematics. And after school, when our results are back, you will have to do all those examinations again at home. So you find that I wasn't very brilliant as far as maths was concerned. Yes, I didn't pass. I had my teacher, Papa and Nemeka. There was something that happened that I had to even peep to somebody's own. And when I passed the maths for the first time, I had 54. I went to meet him. I said, I wasn't the one that I peeped in Justina's own.
You had to go and confess.
And he said to me, so what do you want me to do? I said, even if you give me the same exam, I'm not going, I don't know it. I don't want my father, because I know my father will ask me, how did you get it? So there was no point to lie. It's better for you. My father will accept you the way you are. So it's better for you to tell the truth, no matter how bad the condition is. Just say it the way it is. So it's better for you to be who you are than to come and pretend. When Papa gives you that, there will be trouble for you. So I told him that is Justina's own. I checked Justina's own. So that day I now had 3%. It was better for me to have 3% than to have 54%, and
which is not your own.
It wasn't my own. So all my results are fantastic, but mathematics, I had to go do mathematics at adult age to learn and see if I'll be able to pass. But that was the only problem I had.
And that's the reason you didn't go to read medicine again?
Yes, that was the only reason I didn't read medicine. So what happened was that I now had to come back to school and started from primary 4 so that I can do pure arts. So when I now went to do pure arts, I now passed all my papers except maths.
Okay.
And then
But then P for maths can take you through.
if I tell you I don't like maths, so I didn't even know, so many things happened though growing up. I'm just going to say it here. Sometimes you would have finished shading all the 50 questions on OBJ before they even give you the question, because I don't want to go through stress of going to check the SY and so those are the issues I had. Every other subject, fine, but maths, if it wasn't for old age, I would never have known mathematics. But my father was a maths teacher. Even had maths teacher, geography, all this. So what? And he was always not happy that I don't know maths.
Yeah.
Yes. Wow. So when I now went back to read my do pure arts, and I got all my papers, and then went to the university.
Okay, to do law.
Yes,
okay.
It was then. Now at the end of the day, while I visited one of our cousins in my community, he's Barrister Ma.
Yeah.
Barrister Ma was in University of Lagos then. So when we went to his place, we saw that, to go to the university then was something else. So I now saw his graduation gown, and when he said University of Lagos, I said to myself, when I walked out of the place, I said to myself, I will go to University of Lagos. And he said he was in Jaja Hall. So then when I got to Unilag, I first went to Jaja Hall, and then I stood there and said to myself, this is where Barrister Ma finished from. Me, I'm going to get law degree from this university. So that was, it was actually because of Barrister Ma that I now changed my mind about everything. Went back to that school, had to work from class 4 again, and then did my WAEC to get my papers. Wow.
Okay, so now we now know your story of how you became a lawyer at the end of the day. But now you opted to become a lawyer, to read law because of your cousin, and today you're a lawyer, legal practitioner, the politician too. Are you actually living that dream of that lawyer? You love what you're doing?
Yes, certainly. In fact, I think it was out of sentiments that I even said, oh, I was going to be a medical doctor. Because at the end of the day, my father told me that you will be a lawyer. And
that's before you went to read law?
Yes. So the day I was called to the bar, I made sure that my father had to travel from Asaba to attend that call to bar ceremony. Because he knew from the one that I was going to be a lawyer.
Wow. Oh, that's nice. Okay, and I just found that you have an NGO, yes, non-governmental organization. Tell us about it. I think it's called International Center for Women Empowerment and Child Development.
Yes, International Center for Women Empowerment and Child Development. Well, the center came about out of my life experience. Okay. It is not actually the things we dream to become that life gives to you most times. So at some point, it became obvious that if I don't take a decision in that process where I was going to have problem in life. And I also decided that, became obvious to me that so many women have also died in silence, died in marriage because they did not speak out. And so many things happened. And I've watched so many people also die. At the end of the day, I took a decision that I will go back and then set up an organization. Even if I don't set up an organization, it is important for me to begin to talk about issues that ordinarily women do not want to talk about. And then because of our tradition, the issue of patriarchy, when things happen, all the blame will go to the woman. It shouldn't be so. So many things happened, going through life experience. I decided that there must be an office where women can come and discuss what their issues are. And then we'll look at it and see how we can go forward or how we can stop and ask questions if these things should happen the way they are happening. So that was the basic reason I decided to set up that office, mainly for women and for children. And growing up with my parents and all my relatives, growing up, training was different from what we have today. And then there are so many things that when you do them, even you go into your room, you will say to yourself, these things are wrong. Many of those things happen today and nobody sees it as anything. So the value system became an issue. Where are we coming from? Where are we? And where are we going to? If we're able to identify these three issues, then what do we want to achieve? How can we make this our generation better? And then be able to pass on to the next generation after us. These are the issues. These are the issues that made me to set up the office at that time. And doing that, I had to consult. I had to meet great women in this our country to raise those issues about what was affecting women, the children. Because you know, as a matter of fact, when you talk about family units, the moment the children and the women are fine, the man is at peace. So when there are issues in the home, the woman, the children are not in order, the man will never be at peace. So you find that children will begin to grow up in broken homes. There will be nobody to take care of the children. The woman will say, oh, let me go my own way. The man will say, oh, let me get another wife. At the end of the day, who suffers? The children. So I met Professor Jadasola Konde, may her soul rest in peace. We had a long conversation in her house in Ikoyi. And I said to her, this is what I want to do. And he said, Bridget, it is very important that we begin to discuss these issues. And we now sat down that evening by the lagoon, because our house is just by the lagoon. We went behind and sat by the lagoon. And she said to me, it is important that we also look for women that will be able to understand our issues. So that evening, we nominated Professor Dora Quinyeli, Mrs. Adeko. Mrs. Adeko at one point served as the essay to the president when President Olusegun was the president on Senate matters. So we also nominated Mrs. Emma Wanze. She's an American but married to a Nigerian. So at the end of the day, we had a meeting in Professor Jadasola Konde's office in Lagos. And we are all agreed that the issues of women and the development of children was critical at that time. And we decided that we will move ahead to register the organization and then take it from there. The other woman that was also nominated was Professor Agomo. Professor Agomo served as Dean of Law, University of Lagos. So these are great women. At the end of that meeting, it became obvious that we needed to move forward and that nothing was going to stop us. Let the women begin to also know their rights. Let the children also know their rights. The girl child in particular, to be able to say, oh, this is who I am. Is it ever possible for a girl child to say, I am this in a home? No. It is now. So many things have changed. Before, all the time you stay behind. You don't talk about it, except for families who have respect for women. They will say, oh, we recognize this child, or this child will do better, and all that. So those are the issues we raised, how to take care of the rights of women and their children, to see how we can as well work with the most vulnerable persons, whether they are male or female, to make sure that at the end of the day, we're able to speak with, for them. And so, on my own part, I said, well, as a lawyer, I will do all cases only for the most vulnerable, strictly for the most vulnerable. I will not go to court because somebody has money to pay me. So all the cases I have done are cases for the most vulnerable people, those who cannot afford to pay legal fees. Those are the cases I do. And those are the cases Professor Jodosola Akonde also did. She was the first female, the second female Vice Chancellor. She was the Vice Chancellor of Lagos State University after Professor Grace Alele Williams.
Okay, so you've been doing all for free.
Yes.
All right. Only the most vulnerable women. So
Yes.
any other one that comes, you have money, and she really has a very bad case. You're not ready to.
If there's a bad case, you know, we do mediation.
Okay.
If it's a bad case and the person comes first with money, I will not listen to you. What matters most to me and the organization is that a woman's life is involved.
Yeah.
And then the woman has a right to be happy.
Yeah.
So I don't want to know whether you have money.
Okay.
But the fact is that we have identified that there is an issue.
Okay.
But outside those ones, we will only speak, will only be out for those, strictly those that cannot afford. Yes. So when you are very rich, we've done mediation for very big families and then communities, but we will not discuss the issue of money.
Okay.
Because the moment you raise the issue of money, I will just stay clear.
Okay. So that's just make it very clear that money is not the matter right now.
No. We need to make sure that family units are in order.
Okay.
So as sometimes, you know, the issue of empowerment, so many women feel that empowerment of women means let me have all the money and then be in charge in the home. Naturally, women are in charge. What the man needs is respect.
Yeah.
But when things are not going well and both of them are also not managing it, because first, the woman needs to know, some of the mediations we do, the woman needs to know first that she is in charge of every home. Why is she in charge? Because the ability of any woman to manage the crisis around her home makes her in charge. That doesn't mean that, oh, I must show my muscle. But you can do a lot of things and the man will be there. No trouble. But when we try to push it further, there will be a lot of crisis. Okay. So when that happens, we expect that the woman will take charge. But if she takes charge and at the end of the day is not working well and her life is threatened, we'll come in there. Because even at the end of the day, the position of the law is that only the living can praise God.
Oh, sure.
So you must be alive to take care of your children.
That's true.
You must be alive to make sure that all the things that your children need, especially the value system, training, proper training for children is critical.
Upbringing.
Exactly. And it is always very bad. I've said it many times over. From age 0 to 10 is the most critical period of every child.
Life.
So if you see the mother is not there, either because of death or because of broken home, there's always an issue. So the child is continuously confused.
Yeah,
so these are the issues, part of the reason we decided to set up this office.
Okay, so
to protect the children, whether the boy child or the girl child, in their first early formative years. So that at the end of the day, when they become teenagers, they are not carried away with the things of the world.
No direction.
Yes, no that. The moment you lose those critical years, that child is finished. It will only take the grace of God to make that child.
So how long ago have this organization been on?
Yeah, you know, in the past, you must have worked for like 5 years before CAC can register you.
Okay.
Yes. So I can say we're about 20 years on. Yeah,
Wow.
about 20 years.
Okay.
About
That's
21 years on that we've been. But we were properly registered about 18 years back.
Okay, that's a very long time ago. So how much of this vision have you achieved now?
I can tell you, when we decided to come to Delta State, you know, many organizations will say, oh, they will stay in the capital, big cities like Lagos and Abuja. We decided to come here in 2004 to come to Delta State. And by 2006, 2007, we have started, we had our office, and then we started working. What we started with was the issue of children. We had to establish the first children parliament in the state, and to make sure, then we had already had the Child's Right Act. We're trying to dramatize what was in the act, what the provisions of the act. And in the process, we were part of those, the children and myself were part of those who were invited to the House of Assembly to review the Child's Right Act, and then it now was domesticated and became a law in Delta State. Now, what we have done is to have intensive advocacy on the Child's Right Law. Intensive advocacy on the Child's Right Law. And you know, things happen over time. You begin to see the impact. Today, it is talk in every home. The Pioneer Children Parliament of this organization, today we have over, I think about 5 or 6 of them are lawyers. The Speaker of the Child Parliament is also a lawyer. We have engineers. One of them served as the Chief Whip of the National Children Parliament. I think he lives in the US now, and they are all adults. Now, the other thing that the center have done is to set up a skill acquisition center for the less privileged ones. So over the years, we've been able to train so many of them. The center was also the first to bring in 9 Ivorians as instructors at the skill center. So many of them were trained, and none of them paid any money at that time. Today we have so many of them around, and we're also the first center that started weaving what you call apocha, our native attire, our traditional cloth. They call it apocha. We weave apocha in the center. Yes, we have a skill center. In that skill center, all the IT students from College of Education Asaba, Zoro Poly, Ogwashuku Poly, Abo College of Education, we are coming for IT in my office. So those are how far we have gone. And then all the law cases also for the less privileged ones. People now got to know that, oh, they have a right, and that they have a place where they can go to, and they will not need to pay, and they will get justice. So whether it's in court, we'll go to court, and at the end of the day, we'll get justice for the poor. That's all that we have done. And today, I thank God for His Excellency, Senator Dr. Ifeanyi Atokowa. I also thank God for Her Excellency, because many work that we started, when they came, the issue of the Child's Right implementation, a committee was set up under his administration. Not just that, there's a VAB law, which has also become a law in Delta State. And then the issues of human rights as it concerns the poor has become a daily matter for the state, to the extent that the girl child has become a very serious topic for this state. And I was privileged to serve as executive assistant, the Pioneer Executive Assistant, Girl Child Empowerment Office, which is today a ministry of its own. And then it was able to recognize that between age 18 and 30, that these girls are not doing anything. even if they've gone to school, some of them don't have a job, that the most critical thing for him is to make sure that all of them have skills. It's now a serious issue in Delta State. And you cannot ignore this class of people. If you talk about development and you want to move further, you want to change anything, you need to start with these class categories of persons. Make sure they are engaged. So when the state engage them, and they also, at the end of the day, engage themselves and other people, we won't have a lot of issues on ground. Okay. So many issues that we raised, this administration has done a lot to make sure that those issues are solved.
Taken care of.
Yes.
That's nice. So this
ICWCD made a letter, a proposal to the state government in 2008, telling the then Commissioner of Youth, late Mrs. Moshola, that the traffic at the center was much, that the state will need to have skill acquisition centers to make sure that they will to contain other people, because the center was a private center and not being funded by any agency. So at the end of the day, they came up with 6 skill acquisition centers arising from that our proposal. When His Excellency came, you agree with me that that all the the 25 local governments have skill acquisitions now.
That's true.
He didn't stop at that. He established technical skills.
Yes.
Because in the center then, you can learn how to make shoes, you can do bags, you can make your hats, you can sew and have your fashion, you have your catering department. All those things we had at the center. You have it at the Ministry of Youth as today. There's job creation. All these are what they are doing. The Girl Child Empowerment Office, that's all they are doing. If it was implemented at that time, you would have known. By today, you will see what Delta State would have become. But God's time is the best. When His Excellency,
getting better with all his
exactly. When His Excellency came, he made sure that all these things are in place. So anybody who tells you that any story about Delta State that is not true, people will speak for His Excellency.
Oh, sure.
So I thank God that all those noise, people called it noise. Sometimes they say I'm a troublemaker. I'm actually not a troublemaker. I just want things to get better. Because in an advanced world, these things are there, and you don't get to hear people complain.
Sure.
So, but over time, too many things have happened. So anyone you do now, they say, oh, you are not doing anything. But this administration has tried. And that's why I worked with them. Okay. I did not apply to His Excellency to give me appointment. I was actually somewhere where they were congratulating me. Bridget, congratulations. I said, what are you congratulating me about? He said, you are now SSA. I said, is that the way they do the appointment? When I became an EA, I wasn't even around. I was in America, but I came, they gave me paper. I did not apply for it. Okay. And I was also somewhere going to Kwale when I was told that I'm now a commissioner.
Commissioner for humanitarian.
Exactly. So all these things happened. How it happened, I don't know. But I'm telling you that His Excellency has a foresight. And he understands development. And that's why all the troubles I have made in the past, they say she's a troublemaker or she too they do. I don't too they do. I just want the best for our people.
We know that you just I too they do things. People will always talk. As a matter of fact, let's say that you've been doing so well, and we know you're going to keep it up. Now let's look at you as a woman and a politician. Talking about women generally, talking about politics and women right now. Though we are having women coming out now, to do politics, but we still don't have enough in the political arena, if you ask me. So let's hear your take on that, because some women will say politics is dirty. Can't do politics. They go to midnight meetings. I kind of woman and all of that, And some have this mentality about women in politics. Are you sure they're really doing what they're doing there? What's your take concerning women in politics?
Well, I tell everybody that cares to listen. The woman, God has finished with creation, and He handed it over to us. So that is why the woman is the mother of the president. That's why the woman is the mother of the teacher. That's why the woman is the mother of everybody. God has ended with creation. long ago and handed the power to us. Now, you find that the woman will continually build the nation.
Yes.
And she refused to, after nurturing the nation, she's not part of the activities, daily activities of the administration of the nation. And what happened? Because of the place where we come from, we're Africans. The patriarchy is very strong here. So it is only the man that will have to show. And that's why we started talking about women empowerment. And so this women empowerment is not to take over anybody or the head of the house. It is natural that the man is the head of the home.
Sure.
But my people will tell you that when you plant a yam, the yam can either start growing from the head or from the tail of the yam. When the woman is properly empowered, this crisis in the home, you will not see it. Because most times it's economic issues that bring about a quarrel in the home. He now talk about politics. When the women now decided to, let us even see what is there. Because so many things have happened over so many years, you cannot penetrate it. It's not just about, people say it's dirty, it's dirty. Me, I've been doing politics. I've been following them, working with them. The things you don't want to do, you don't want to do it. The ones you don't like, you say, I don't like it. Nobody's going to kill you. What do you want? What is your reason for joining politics? If what your reason for joining politics is different, or you think you must get it from this other way, then you will fail. But if your reason of joining politics is to see and talk about development, you will get it. It will take time, but you will get it. But going to contest election, you can see how His Excellency helped women. You know, at the Beijing conference, they said, we are going to talk about the affirmative action, and then that a certain percentage will be left for women. Nobody gives you power by, that is free of charge. Nobody gives you. The men will not allow it. So you have to work with them. But always know that they need respect. The way we respect our husbands at home. The man needs the respect, even if he's a 1-year-old. He wants that respect like yesterday. So just give them that respect. And then at some point they will say, this one, they respect us. Let us help her. Because it is the man that will close his eyes and give you money and say, take 5 million. It is the man that will do it. When the man wants to help you, they will make everything available for you. But we women, even those of us that are empowered, that have money, we will not want to. So it is important that we'll participate, even if it's 1,000. When a woman is going for election, let all the community, all these people, women here, 500 self, 100 naira. Let us become our neighbor's keeper. Let us love ourselves first. It is the man that will say, this woman has tried. Let us help her. They will rally around and provide everything that is needed. So we need to learn. In as much as we want to do politics, we must genuinely do this politics and love ourselves first. Because when politics is about numbers, it's about numbers. If a man says, we are going to Ueli today and provide 5 buses, all of us enter. When you get to Ueli, who are you going to vote for? Who will you vote for? But when we now say we are going to Ueli and we are like 50 women, I will say let us contribute 100 naira. And when we finish contributing the 100 naira, and we're able to take ourselves there. When you get there, you have your own say. This is where I want to vote. And if it is the man that is doing well, you say, I will do votes for this man. You are now going to do your voting because these people, it is this person that have brought me here. It's the person that have brought, it's the man that brought me into politics. And I learn by the second. Because if you don't learn, you don't get anything. And it's not about how powerful you are. Politics is not about how powerful you are. It's about sitting down to learn. Anywhere they say you learn. It's not about who you know. Because the only one phone call will tell the person that you know to stop you. Just one phone call if you are not doing well. So we women should learn to participate genuinely, begin to come together to discuss our issues. When we present it to the men, they will listen to us. And that's why you see that today we have 17 vice chairmen. They are all women under this administration. If it wasn't for His Excellency, we will not get it. It has never happened in Delta State. I served as a commissioner, 7 women sitting as commissioner. It has never happened. It was happening for the first time. The EAs and SSAs and SAs that are women, you can't even count them. What is His Excellency trying to do? Encourage us to participate. Yes, he's a human-friendly governor. But what is he teaching us? To participate genuinely. To also sacrifice for others. When you get and you keep it to yourself, it doesn't make sense.
Now that brings us to talk about looking at women as not, you talked about it and loving one another. What would you say is the reason women don't like to support one another? Because when the men are going, we're doing an explanation of you're going to campaign somewhere, you bring out the boss. Most times when those bosses come, women are majority in the bus, going for that man that brought them all out. But when there's a woman running for that position as it is, sometimes women will not be ready to come out. So what do you think is the reason? We women, we don't support ourselves, we don't support one another. What's the reason? Why?
I will tell you, the woman I know that supports women is Her Excellency. Her Excellency, this Her Excellency, the Midito Kowa that you're seeing, is one woman that have love for, whether you're a male or a female. But when it concerns, this politics, all this is, he wants to know how you're coping. Okay. But it's not so for others. So I just pray all of us women will learn to throw away all those issues, bringing us down. If we can throw them away and have genuine love, I don't have to love your face. You don't have to be my friend. But what is important is that you can deliver, and you need to sit down there. If you're there, you will do well. That is what matters. So if we begin to say, let her not go there, let a man go. At the end of the day, you continue to remain where you are. You cannot improve. It's like coming now, giving you 10 naira every day. Giving you 10 naira will not work. It won't solve the problem. That's why His Excellency, in his administration, he wants everybody to be part of. Participation is critical. When you participate, you feel it. At the end of the day, you earn something. Even if it's 1 naira you're earning, it is your own. But when you sit down all the time, you want somebody to bring for you. You want somebody to give you. You don't give out. The one they even give you, you will not give. And then you feel that they must give me. It doesn't make sense. And you feel that, maybe when I'm there, I will be better than you. Or when you're there, I will be feeling that you'll be better than me. We will not move ahead.
But men don't think that way.
No, men don't think that way. Men sit down and, maybe because I'm the only daughter of my parents, men will sit down and, even if it's their worst enemy, at some point, even if it's their worst enemy, say it's better for the devil to go. Yeah. It's better for the devil to go. He's not my friend, but he will do better.
That's true.
He's not my friend, but he will do better. The men will sit down and assess you, they already know what they want in the next 10 years. That's true. But we are here going around.
Women, so we should love ourselves more.
And we need love.
And support our fellow women, especially in this political era now. 2023 is just by the corner. Let's learn to support our women. The women that have been able to come out, to say, yes, I want to run for this office. Let us all as women, stand behind her and support her to be able to make that office.